more and more prevalent, there is a large group that is still unvaccinated, and they are going to continue to be at risk of severe disease.
Right now, across the U.S., roughly 14% of all new cases are of this.
Then giving voice to conservatives.
Bring you the today. Hi, I'm Jane King, and thank you for watching. This show is all about public, private, and blockchain companies. We bring you the innovators behind the companies making the headlines in that space. Some are sponsored, some are invited, all are curated and focused on telling you, the viewers, their story. Here we go. Tonix recently presented a scientific poster at the American Society of Clinical Psychopharmacology annual meeting, which detailed the positive results of a phase 3 study using TNX 102SL in fibromyalgia. And so with me is the CEO, Seth Lutterman, to talk more about this, what it means. So welcome back, Seth.
Thank you for having me back on.
Yeah. So let's start with just give me an overall of this clinical study that you did for the fibromyalgia treatment. Bring us up to date on that.
Well, it's a big win for fibromyalgia patients. We think that this clearly shows that our model of improving sleep quality can lead to an improvement in across the board in fibromyalgia. The primary endpoint of the study was pain, because fibromyalgia is considered a pain disorder. And in this study, it was a 14-week study, and people got either our drug, TNX 102SL, or placebo. And after 14 weeks, the treated people did better on pain than the placebo group. And that was statistically significant by the pre-specified primary analysis. So it was a positive phase 3 study. And since you need 2 phase 3 studies for FDA approval, we think we're halfway home.
Okay. How big of a problem is fibromyalgia in the US, globally?
Fibromyalgia affects about 10 million American adults. About half of them are diagnosed, and about 90% of the diagnosed people are treated. But still, there's a long way to go to get the other half of fibromyalgia patients into treatment, because there are some good treatments already available, and we think that ours will also be a very important addition to the treatment options.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned that you've done 1/3 phase trial, and that was positive. So you do another one. How long do you think it might be before this gets FDA approval?
In the United States, you need 2 phase 3 studies for approval. So we've finished 1 phase 3 study. The second one, we're already enrolling. We expect to have interim analysis next quarter, so in Q3, which is just in a couple of weeks, Q3 starts. And then we've guided that we'll have top line on that study in the first quarter of 2022, so the first quarter of next year. Mm-hmm. So if that study's positive, we expect to be able to file the new drug application in 2022, and we expect to have FDA approval in 2023. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, that depends on the next study confirming the results of the study we just completed, but we're optimistic about that because the current phase 3 study is pretty much identical to the one we just completed that was successful. Now, the one difference is it's a larger study, but we made it larger to increase the chances that it would be successful.
Mm-hmm. Can you describe the treatment? Is it a pill? I mean, how does it work?
Yeah, thank you. a tablet that goes under the tongue, and it's taken every night at bedtime. So every night just before bedtime, the person takes the tablet, puts it under the tongue. Under the tongue, it rapidly disintegrates and then is absorbed into the bloodstream by the mucous membrane under the tongue. And what it does is it improves sleep quality. And we think that sleep quality is very different from quantity. So quality means how useful the sleep is from a health point of view. And quantity is just someone being knocked out, but not necessarily getting good sleep. So the sleep drugs that are approved in the United States today are focused on quantity, and they're called sedatives or hypnotics, whereas ours does not knock you out. Ours is designed to improve the quality. So while someone is sleeping, while someone with fibromyalgia is sleeping, processes in the brain can occur that lead to an overall improvement in their health.
Okay, interesting. So since this deals with sleep, will there be other indications for this treatment?
Excellent question. Yes, we think that poor sleep quality leads to problems in many different conditions. Now, each one of these different conditions has their own particular type of sleep problem. So we're going to have to test it in each one of these conditions before we know. But we do have active INDs, that means an investigational new drug application, in 3 other conditions already. And those are post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, agitation in Alzheimer's disease, which is a common but difficult problem, and alcoholism. The new name for alcoholism is called alcohol use disorder. So those are 3 conditions where scientists believe that poor sleep exacerbates, prolongs, or generally worsens these conditions. So we intend to try it in these 3 and also other diseases, because as you said, sleep is a component of many different conditions.
Sure is. So what are the key takeaways then of this program?
Well, the key takeaways are that there hasn't been a new fibromyalgia drug in over 10 years, and a lot has been learned about fibromyalgia in those 10 years. I think the big differentiator of our product, if approved, is that it targets sleep quality. And one of the things that's very unique about that is we can target sleep quality in fibromyalgia, improve the pain, and yet we are using a medicine that is recognized not to have addictive or dependency issues. So I think it's a different mechanism, completely different mechanism than the approved drugs and in fibromyalgia. And we think it's going to be a very important option for fibromyalgia patients.
Okay, very interesting. We'll come back when you start to get that second phase 3 trial going, and we'll see. We'll get an update.
Great. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Seth Letterman of Tonix Pharmaceuticals. GreenBox is in the process of launching a token. And with us to explain more about the process is Chairman Ben Arras of GreenBox. So great to see you again.
Good morning, Jane. Great to see you again.
So tell me about this. You recently made an announcement about the launch of the token. So bring me up to date. Walk me through this opportunity.
Okay, so the token essentially is a media that requires 4 ingredients for a successful launch. You require technology. That technology needs to be certified by an independent evaluation. You need a sponsor bank. You need a national auditor that can provide attestation as to the stability and compliance of the ecosystem. And you need seed capital. So GreenBox is now in possession of all of these 4 ingredients, and this token is about to be launched in the next couple of weeks. Now, every token is $1 in the transactional system of GreenBox, and therefore it works to increase the volume of processing in the transactional ecosystem. It also introduces new profit centers, for example, during the onboarding process, the offboarding process, and a few new exit methods, such as push to cards, the equivalent of an ACH or wire, electronic check, etc. And lastly, our token opens new vertical opportunities for GreenBox, such as money service businesses. Okay. And we'll talk a little bit more about the token later on, and I will give you an exclusive where I named that token on your show for the first time.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I love that. So now you just mentioned the financial services. So you just recently received approval for a deal with Northeast Merchant Services that adds 700 merchant portfolios, right? So what does that mean for GreenBox?
So the primary motivation for us acquiring this bin is to be able to utilize its particular properties, which are not available today, for our business. This bank identification number allows us to do our own risk underwriting and allows us to include new business verticals and much higher volumes. This bin is extremely rare. It's been around for 30 years. And it has some grandfather capabilities. It comes with a processing portfolio of about 700 plus merchants, adding 145 million in annual processing and over $1 million in annual net income for the year. However, this was not the primary motivation. As I said, the primary motivation was to acquire the bin. But that's a nice add-on. And then on top of that, it also comes with a small office building, which we add to our real estate portfolio.
Interesting. Okay. And you've also been making some changes with management and enhancing management. So you've got a new CFO, right, new board members as well. Talk about what they bring to GreenBox.
Right. So we do make changes from time to time to both staffing and the board of directors as the objectives of the company change. So most recently, we decided to beef up the operational staff and also posture ourselves for increasing activity in the merger and acquisition arena for GreenBox. And the bin acquisition is one of many that we plan for this year. So we added a little bit ago Chief Operating Officer Vanessa Luna, who has significant executive experience in public companies. We added the CFO Ben Chang, who was the company contractor as head of compliance for over 1.5 years for GreenBox, and has significant experience as a NASDAQ CFO and former auditor for NASDAQ listed companies. We've added Carl Williams as a board member with significant executive payment industry experience and with M&A, helping us on that front as well. And lastly, we added Dennis James to the board. Dennis is a banking professional with the significant experience in both banking and M&A activities.
Thank you so much, Ben, for joining us today, and look forward to.
Thank you, Jane. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. PetProducts.com. Thousands of products. An Al Simon Wee Wee Pad Inventor Company. Global Cannabis Applications Corporation has issued no less than 6 press releases since the last time we talked. So very much looking forward to getting updates. It sounds like you've been very busy. CEO Bradley Moore, also a technology partner, Brian Collins, will be joining in with us as well. But Brad, let's start with you. So what's behind these 6 press releases that have been issued in the past month or so?
Well, we've been working, right? I mean, that's the wonderful thing is we've we're funded up, we're executing well. We've been, we've got our great partner Brian Collins from Abbey Technology with us, who's what I like to say the backbone of our knowledge set on the application of producing better outcomes for medical cannabis patients. I never want to get away from that, right? There's a lot of talk. We talk about technology, we talk about blockchain, we talk about tokens, we talk about AI, but what's this all about? It's about a need in the medical cannabis market. And each one of those 6 press releases is part of that incredible story we're bringing. And I think, as you've seen in the last one, we've been attending these different events with Prohibition Partners, and now with one coming up next week at Cannabis Europe. And we're going to be, once again, these are selling shows. We're into our prime selling. We're out telling people about Afixi, and we're getting cultivators to use it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it sounds like, your mission, and everything else is kind of extraneous. So, which is, typically what a good business does.
100%,
so,
yeah.
So, Brian, let's talk about the classified marketing token. That was prominent in a lot of the press releases. So tell us what that is. What's that all about?
Sure. For us, Jane, it was really about innovating in the funding space. With companies that are in the blockchain space, because the way we do this is on a decentralized finance paradigm. So using services like Uniswap and PancakeSwap that allow a token to be allocated and effectively shares, want for a better term, to be purchased in the company using decentralized finance. So you don't have to go and open a brokerage account. You don't have to go and do massive amounts of KYC. Like the KYC for a typical account in Canada will be about 60 pages long. You don't have to do that kind of heavy lift, so to speak. And it's typically for smaller players, smaller investors, really, to allow them on the ladder of interesting companies. And I find Brad's company particularly interesting. So that's really why we can.
A new class of investors, so to speak, these token holders, without having to go through all the compliance, which can be quite burdensome.
Yeah, and it's also trying to embrace the smaller investor. Typically, it's kind of elitist, and I don't mean to sound cruel there, but in order to open a brokerage account, you can't be earning $10,000 a year. A stockbroker won't allow you in. So the idea here is that you can actually invest $5, $6, $50 in Brad's business, if you like. The global cannabis applications paradigm, and the fact that Brad is publicly committed as a public company CEO to spending a piece of his top line, as a minimum of 1% of his top line revenues per quarter, buying back the token, means he's really buying into this as well. So as an investor, not only do I like his company, but I also like the fact that as his company grows, my shares increase in value. That's the paradigm for public markets and capital markets. It's also the paradigm for decentralized finance.
Well, thank you so much, Brad and Brian, for joining us. And don't wait till you get 6 press releases out. Let's do this again when you get like 1 or 2. So.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jane.
Thanks, Jane.
Petproducts.com. Thousands of products. An Al Simon Wee Wee Pad Inventor Company. Gensel Energy Group is a diversified holding company with assets in biotech, cryptocurrency, software gaming, fashion, and many other industries. Now with me is Maria Bumboy, an M&A consultant with Gensel Energy. So great to see you, Maria.
Nice to see you too.
So let's start with, how did you become involved with Gensel Energy Group?
Well, I used to be their merger and acquisition consultant and financial analyst in 2019, and also last year during the pandemic year, supporting the management with my services. And in March of this year, the board felt it was time for me to take the helm as president of Gensel Energy, and so here I am.
Okay, so how is Gensel Energy Group unique?
Well, let's say that Gensel Energy Group is a solid company with savvy financially personnel, able to combine passion and diversity and investment in growing industries with target companies who want to participate in our growth and development as a holding company. In the past 9 months, the company completed many acquisitions in different sectors, such as in the retail and online coffee space, in commodities in Latin America, in information technology, in biotech research and commercialization for stem and cell and body rejuvenation, fashion and cosmetics, and aesthetic products. Then we have also renewable energy and construction, and recently also in cryptocurrency. With our acquisition, we made an acquisition of an hydropower plant in Italy to fuel a cryptocurrency mining facility with low cost and green energy electricity.
What is your outlook on the industry that you're involved in?
We are very bullish on all of the entities we acquired recently, and even despite pandemic situation, our partners produce over $10 million US only in the first quarter. So we are very excited for the growth of the remainder of 2021, but we are also very excited for 2022. So our biotech stem cells are to open offices in the United States. Our fashion and cosmetic brand will have a global reach. Our coffee partner will be expanding in Europe and in North South America and so on.
Okay. And then you have a new cryptocurrency project. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, we do. Our entry in the cryptocurrency space is a culmination of the long-term prospects of cryptocurrency usage and our development of renewable and green energy. So it has also been demonstrated that hydropower technology presents both the ability to mine cryptocurrency with effective price of electricity and has also a limited carbon footprint for the environment, and this is very important. So we are very focused on this new acquisition of this hydropower facility and company in Italy, and are waiting for some permits to start operation. So our partner has a funding purchase of $10 million and mining machines and its operations. So our group is planning to expand cryptocurrency operations into other opportunities after the completion of the initial mining operation. So lastly, our partners are in discussion with additional hydropower plants in Canada and also in the Slavic region.
Mm-hmm. And then can you give me an update on your financials?
But as you can see from the financials that we just filed with OTC, the company is growing in a right way and with solid cash flow foundation. The diversification of the investments and the participation of the founder are additional guarantees. We are releasing $20 million of private placement in order to develop the business plans for each of our 15 partners we just acquired.
Mm-hmm. And then what's the future for Gensel Energy Group?
Well, Gensel is the future. So the future of Gensel Group is, of course, we want to develop every single activity we just acquired. We want to expand the technologies and marketings, make some new acquisition in existing, but also new developing companies.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, thank you very much, Maria, for joining us today and giving us an introduction to Gensel Energy. And I look forward to more updates this summer.
Bye.
Bye. PetProducts.com. Thousands of products. And Al Simon, Wee Pad Inventor Company. GrapeFruit holds permits and licenses to both manufacture and distribute cannabis products in the Golden State. With me is the CEO, Bradley Urist. To tell me a little bit more about this, I know we talked a while back, Brad, but can you just tell me a little bit more about some of your products, and in particular the Hourglass product?
Hi, Jane. Welcome. Thank you for hosting us today. And so, yes, our CB Hourglass product, in my opinion, is the best topical out there. Nobody can compete with our technology, nor can they compete with our bioavailability. So we're super excited about it. It's available online, and we're ready to get it. We're ready to get it out to the public immediately.
And you said it's the best out there. So how do you know that?
Well, we've done comparisons, and as far as the bioavailability of other products, and ours is vastly superior, on the order of magnitude of about 5 times more bioavailable. Because essentially we are using basically a proprietary delivery system to actually get the cannabinoids through the skin and into the bloodstream.
And then you also have products that you sell just in California. So tell me about
we actually have, we have a THC version that we're currently selling. So this does have THC, and it also has CBD. Okay. So it's the same delivery mechanism, but it does employ THC. So
that's right now, California law allows you to do that. Is that why you don't sell that another?
Correct. We can't sell our THC version online across state lines. So that's why we were able to get another SKU and do the CBD version, so we can send it to everybody. And then over the next year or so, we're going to be rolling it out to other states as well, the THC version of Hourglass.
Okay. Now, you and your brother run the company, right? And you're both attorneys. And kind of give me a background about how you built GrapeFruit.
Yes. So my brother, Daniel Urist, and I have understood the efficacy and the benefits of cannabis over the last 20-something years. So we were sort of involved in it with our law firm, helping people with compliance and regulatory issues. And then in 2016, California passed the Adult Use Act. So Dan and I decided, look, let's get into licensed cannabis, jump in it, with all force. And so we created GrapeFruit.
Mm-hmm. And so how have you, this has been a very fascinating industry to watch, because we've had legalization in Colorado and Washington, and then other states have come along since then. What's your sense of where we're going in the cannabis industry?
Well, it's a great question, Jane. I think right now we are a little bit disappointed with the current administration's policy on cannabis, but we feel over the next 24 months, their position may change. And then maybe the first step could be to decriminalize or descheduleize THC as the first step to federal legalization. But once we do have federal legalization, GrapeFruit was going to be in an amazing position to go not only nationally, but internationally.
Interesting. And what do you see internationally with cannabis?
Well, we do see the efficacy of topicals. Currently in the EU, you have to be prescribed THC cannabis, but the doctors don't want to prescribe flowers wherein the user has to smoke. So we've been hearing a lot of positive feedback with our THC topical in specific to have the doctors feel like, okay, we can prescribe a topical versus smoking. And so that's why we've seen a lot of positive feedback from our potential European partners that we're talking with right now.
All right. Thank you so much, Brad.
Thank you, Jane.
I've been at Fox Business for 12 years because I'm invested in my viewers big time. There are smart people on Wall Street making money off all of this. Why can't you? We care about your success, and we want to be a part of it.
Fox Business, invested in you.
Selling a home is expensive and stressful, so we set out to create a better home selling experience.
Are you tired of investing with the crowd and getting nowhere? I'm Brent Wilsey. At Wilsey Asset Management, we separate ourselves from the crowd using investment fundamentals that have worked for over 100 years. I stand by our investment strategy, which is why my personal portfolio is invested right alongside yours. So if a disciplined, safe, unemotional approach to investing makes sense to you, call or visit us today.
Learn more about our investment strategies at our free 90-minute workshop.
This is the investing book everyone is talking about. It's called Follow the Smart Money. And traders are lining up here to meet the authors, John and Pete Najarian, and get a free copy.
The smart money on Wall Street belongs to the big boys. They're the ones with the resources and technology to know before any of us when a stock is going to move. By following their trades the way we do, you gain their advantage and get in first, ahead of the herd on the smartest trades.
You see John and Pete Nigerian on TV. Whether you trade stocks or options, this is how they pick their trades. And you don't have to be here to get your free copy. Call or go to followthesmartmoney.com right now. Just take care of delivery and it's yours free. Act quickly and you'll also get this companion DVD for free.
Call 800-881-9494 or go to followthesmartmoney.com now. That's 800-881-9494 or followthesmartmoney.com. That's followthesmartmoney.com.
This country was made by tax rebels, freedom fighters, gold seekers, believers, lovers, and true patriots. We're Newsmax, and we're their heirs, and so are you. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.
If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Homeowners Relief Line now. New laws are in effect that may save your home.
This is a paid advertisement for CSN.
I stand here in front of you and meet literally in front of what I think is one of the great numismatic opportunities of our lifetimes. Clearly a numismatic event that's going to be once in our lifetimes. The American Silver Eagle market today is unlike anything I've ever seen. And understand, I've done this since I was like this. I've done this since I was, I hate to use technical terms, but knee-high to a short sheep. I grew up in Texas, by the way. American Silver Eagles are in new territory for everybody. What the United States Mint has done, coupled with the COVID pandemic, in all honesty, from a production standpoint, the increase in silver, the popularity in silver, all of these things have created one of the greatest collectible opportunities of our lifetime. It's just that simple. And I'm going to kind of go through each one of those things. First off, the United States government in November of 2019 decides that they are going to change the design of the American Silver Eagle. When Ronald Reagan passed the Liberty Coin Act in 1985, and they started making the American Silver Eagle in 1986, it has looked exactly like that. It has looked exactly like this since 1986. What we now call a Type 1 or classic design on this, it has looked exactly like this from 1986 through the first half through July 1 of 2021. That's exactly the way it looks. Well, now that is ending. The United States government announced they were changing the design in 2021. Now, when they did it in 2019,
long weekend. Assets you allocate